Hey guys, welcome to the Robro Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about historical adaptations into other media, so like things that happened in our history being turned into movies. I'm Kien.
I'm Johnny.
I'm Max Schooley.
Eli Brown.
Hello.
Oh, your last name's Brown.
It is, yeah.
What a coincidence. There are some other Browns in here.
He doesn't show it on the outside.
Yeah, go on.
Mexican Gil. I'm still Zach.
Our friendly neighborhood man, like,
Versus regular Gil.
I was gonna say, where's
no. Here's what I think.
Japanese Gil.
Gil needs to start doing this. I think Gil needs to start doing this shit. Like, just doing Spider-Man titles. Like, next time he's like, I'm the Spectacular Gil.
I'm Gil Homecoming.
So I'm not coming home when I go to war. I'm not banking on anything.
I'm Gil Secret Wars. I'm Gil Symbiote.
I'm Gil 3.
Gil 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
The Amazing Gil 2. Like we were talking about, we were talking about historical adaptations, and the reason I thought of this topic is that we saw Dunkirk. At least a few of us saw Dunkirk, and I went to go see Detroit with my dad, and I was just gonna do a mini review on that. That movie fucking makes me feel guilty, and I'm not even white. So I'm gonna explain Detroit in a movie. So it's about the Detroit riots that were never talked about. Like, I don't even, like, I was talking to, like, some people who are, like, big on, like, this is what gets me on people who are big on, like, social justice and things like that. I was like, yeah, did you hear about the Detroit riots? I don't know what that is. I'm like, yep.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Movie's for you.
Then this movie's for you. I will say, spoiler alert, this movie is not for those dudes who are, like, the American flag with the blue stripe on it.
Or the meat.
Well,
I won't say that.
or the Blue Lives Matter shirts, because man, the cops are assholes in this movie. Like, and they did some way more fucked up shit if you read into it.
I don't know anything about the movie, but in the actual Detroit riots, the cops were not good people.
No.
They were not just corrupt, but they were, like, literally...
Beating the shit
They were
and
getting
fucking,
away with killing people.
right, and like basically sexually assaulting people. There was one former police officer said she wasn't going to see the Detroit movie because these, like, it's not inaccurate, the things that they kept out. There was a interrogation where a cop sodomized someone with a nightstick to get information. Like, this is how fucked up the Detroit riot was. And, like, so the movie's split into 3 parts, just kind of like how Dunkirk was. But the first part was just, like, the beginning. It felt like a war film. Like, people were, like, getting ready for a war to happen. It was fucking terrifying.
It was a war.
Right.
It wasn't just this background interrogation investigation. It was literally like guerrilla-style warfare on the streets of Detroit.
Right.
Between citizens of the city and riot police. I mean, it was...
on a good day.
No, it was definitely Detroit on a
Really
slightly
shitty.
below about a slightly below.
When
average
Eminem
day.
sings 8 Mile and it hits Mom Spaghetti. That's how bad the Detroit was.
I mean, that's a good part. But...
But no, like, this movie, like, I went with my dad, and my dad is, like, my dad is whiter than Max and John combined.
Yeah, he is.
My dad, and, like, we awkwardly sat there in the car while we were heading home, and he just finally, like...
Don't assume my color.
No, my dad was, like, finally just, like... Fuck. I'm like, what? He's like, dude, white people suck. I'm like, Dad. He's like, nah. Like, they're, like, one of the big major performances was from John Krasinski at the end. He played a lawyer. And he made me hate him. This is how good of an actor he was in that movie. He played a racist lawyer that got most of the cops off. I was like, all right, Jim, you don't even deserve Pam anymore. Fuck you. Like, I look at him, I'm like, you don't deserve that happy family you got at the office. You let these assholes go. Like, it was bad. Like, after seeing the Detroit movie, I was like, all right. It couldn't be as bad as people said. 3 shots of whiskey later and 6 Coors Light, I'm like, oh my god, the world is terrible. Y'all just terrible people. How come no one's talked about this?
Pretty sure the first thing Kien said to me when he saw me after watching that was, "You guys suck."
Right, I was
Walked
like,
into my house and was like, "White people suck." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Right, I was like,
Alright.
I was like, oh man, that next white person I'm gonna see, I'm just gonna be like, you. Oh, hey Max, what's up?
Well, I mean, Detroit wasn't the only place in this time period that was going through a lot of racial tension.
Oh right.
I mean,
Oh no.
you're talking about a time period when African American people were not just afraid of being like beaten in the streets, but like literally being afraid of like being rounded up by groups of people and hung
Right. And
in public, no less.
Right.
I mean, it was obviously I wasn't alive during this time period, but it's a horrifying thing to think about.
right. And see, for me, like that, I think we could go into like another historical adaptation. Is that like 12 Years a Slave was one of the most like brutal, for me, a really uncomfortable movie to watch.
And if you haven't seen that, you've probably seen Roots. That's
Right, and they're all
movie about
really,
slavery.
they're all really, and they're all
which is also another pretty accurate movie.
right. And it's not like those kind of movies. I don't think you should be 100% accurate about because goddamn if they were.
No, you should.
I
It's something that people need to know about.
right, and I get you, but like let's be honest, like they cut a lot of shit out.
Yeah,
Of
well,
that, like-
definitely. But and again, it's something that people need to know.
Right, like
if you can't learn from the mistakes of the past, we can't move forward.
tell that to history books then, because they literally like. Did you know new history books say like?
I
they-
don't know. I haven't.
No,
been to
okay, so
school.
so like
It's
new,
a long time.
no, so like new, a lot of new history books for like younger kids, instead of calling African American like the African American slave trade, they called them an immigration route. Yeah,
They call it the immigration route.
it's an immigration route. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Like,
the
I shit-
immigration triangle.
it's
and
an
shit like
immigration.
that.
Yeah, I shit you not. That's a real thing. Like they go from Africa to the Caribbean to America,
Uh-huh.
and that's where they stayed.
Nothing weird going on over here.
No,
Just
no.
normal immigration.
And then
The
like
shackles.
no, but like the one thing like y'all ever see that meme about like there were Irish slaves? Those guys were indentured servants. They were fucking criminals.
Okay, there's a lot about that that's really off the rails too. The Irish came over during periods of famine
Yep.
to survive starvation
Right.
and signed on as indentured servants, but didn't have a choice to go back at
Right.
all either.
No, I get
so
you on
they
that
were
one.
treated as slaves.
Mhm.
And some of them went through, not all of them of course, but some of them were in situations that were just like
right. No,
the
I feel
African
like I
people.
feel you on that. Like I'm not 100. Like I'm not saying it in a bad way.
Yeah,
But,
because
like-
because my ancestors were indentured servants,
Mhm.
and so I know that they came over here and they were treated poorly by people
Right.
around here. I mean, they were thought of as lesser human beings
Right.
too.
But-
But I'm not going to say that they were all treated just as badly
Right.
as African
Like
slaves.
I don't
because
think they were like
they
thrown on
were
a-
still given spots in society, unlike slaves.
Right.
were. Some of
'Cause
them.
I think they-
some of them were treated like slaves, and some of them ended up in a lot of underground fighting pits as well.
Right,
Where they
'cause-
would fight for
Because
people's
like I don't think
entertainment.
3/5 compromise was 3/5 compromise was for like.
And you have to realize these are people that came from a position of starvation in
Right.
Ireland to the States or to
Right, but-
Canada
right.
to survive that. And these people were denied things like food
Right.
unless they were
Right, you
did what they were told.
I 100% agree. Like it is fucked up no matter what. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's like. It's
and
not.
again,
You know,
not all of the Irish that
Right.
came over here
I'm just
as
saying.
indentured servants were treated
I
that
was just
way.
saying comparatively to a lot of other immigrants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's fucked up to call them immigrants. Like they weren't like I don't like the jungles and I don't like the Sahara. I wonder what a cotton field would feel like.
Yeah, they definitely did not choose to come
Yeah.
over here.
Right,
The
right.
Irish did choose to come
Right.
over here. They were just roped into a
Right.
situation that
They
they could not
were
get
put
out.
they were put on a live or die situation
The Irish were taken advantage of.
because of their
The
situation.
Africans were kidnapped.
Were kidnapped. That's what I mean. Like I'm
Yeah.
not like if anyone's like I understand it, but I really don't like that. That's like their meme to like some people's like the white supremacist memes, like y'all,
Oh, yeah.
y'all complaining about slavery happening 200 years ago. This happened to the Irish. I'm like, yeah, but they weren't roped into it.
They were fucking taken from their homes and
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and
shackled
that's where
away.
that's where I
Again,
stand.
they didn't have much of a choice.
Right.
But
I
They
mean,
were basically
they-
forced into it, but still.
Right,
But
I
they
mean-
still had the option to stay and die. So.
Right. So I mean, like, get
So,
beat
I mean-
by other white dudes and feel inferior or die
But
because
they
you can't make
also
potatoes.
didn't know that was going to happen
Right.
to them. And
They-
again, it didn't happen to all of them.
Right. And like I said, like I have no quarrel for that. I'm just saying, like, the one thing about like the thing I think historical accuracy should be a part of is stuff like that. Like, I think the Civil War is one of those things where like you should show people losing their legs because of infection and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Like, I really like the movie Lincoln. The only thing I don't like the movie Lincoln about is the representation of the Civil War.
I like when he cuts the heads off of vampires.
Yeah, that is a
That was my
very.
favorite.
I
Very
think, I,
good.
well, I
Yeah.
think, like, one of my favorite Civil War historical adaptations is Glory with fucking Matthew Broderick and Denzel Washington. But I like it because it's accurate enough because we gotta watch it. It was our first rated R movie, my first rated R movie ever in school. It was on 6th grade, and like instead of saying
Yeah,
the
I remember watching Gladiator in 6th grade.
right, and we got the edited version where they didn't say where they didn't say the N word. They edited to black person. It was the greatest thing ever.
We just got to see a snippet of Gladiator, and she was gonna stop it at parts where really gory stuff was happening, and she totally missed the part where the guy gets cut in half by the chariot, and then she's just sitting there with her finger on the stop button, and then the guy gets cut in half, and she's just like, "Oh, whoops."
Perfect timing.
Good job.
But like for you guys, like Dunkirk, I saw Dunkirk too, and I'm gonna go see it again. But it is as accurate as a movie could be for World War II time. The feel and the sound it hits in, I really liked it. But like I don't know, do you guys have any like good ones?
For historically kind of accurate.
Yeah, historically
movies.
accurate movies that are good historically accurate. Because
For a historical representation of what time was like, but a slightly historically inaccuracy, The Last Samurai is a pretty good movie.
you mean the first Weeaboo?
Lol. Yeah. It's about how Japan basically had its own sort of Japanese revolution where they evolved from the time period of the samurai into a more modern age, adopting Western culture. And the whole idea about an American samurai is based around a true story, but is not that time period.
It's blasphemy.
Yeah, that's not when that happened, and but it's very similar to how what actually happened when Western culture came, and a lot of samurai decided that they were going to try and fight this new Japanese parliament because they didn't know what else to do. I mean, they had given their entire lives to training to be swordsmen, and suddenly any guy that can hold a gun is a soldier, and any guy with a gun can wipe out fucking 10 samurai coming at him. And so they fought back and they all died. And now modern day is the way it is, including in Japan.
Right. I think another historical accurate movie or series, and I'm going to go into an anime in this one, is Rurouni Kenshin for me.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because
Oh.
there was totally a guy who got burned alive and had a bunch of bandages and a flame.
Who looks like a mummy? Yeah.
and had a flame
Totally a
sword.
guy.
No, I'm talking about no. Okay,
Fighting.
sorry.
Yeah.
The Edo period style and like how the police worked and things like that.
You mean the Meiji era?
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, that period of time is a little bit before Western culture came into.
Right.
the
They
picture.
had some guns, but they didn't
But
have.
it wasn't. It's about the same time period, actually. The police aren't. This is the time period when general public swords are illegal. To the
Right.
general public.
The only
they
ones
can't
could
carry
have-
them around.
right.
Just the police.
Yes.
And the military has firearms and stuff like that. But again, the general public, the police, they don't have stuff like that. And the whole reason that all that stuff was outlawed is because they wanted to be able to move on from this time period of like constant warfare and constant fighting over which family's going to be in charge to just having one strict parliament government. And basically how America brought democracy to Japan because America thinks they have to bring democracy everywhere, even though it's not true democracy.
We're not supposed to tell them that, John.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So bullet comes through the wall and kills
Oh!
me.
Oh, Joe's dead!
Oh shit!
Ah! Just kidding. Eli, do you have any good historically, like, good war movies you like or anything like that? Like any historical event? I got one.
Or any historically
Yeah,
accurate
I'm gonna
movie.
wait for mine though.
You just said yours.
No, I got a couple
got-
more.
I
Got some more.
I got some more. Got some more to bring up. You got nothing?
I mean, not really. There are things I like, but everything has its inaccuracies.
Right. Like, well, what's like one of the ones you like that has like some inaccuracies?
Well, what are some ones that you like that have at least a few accuracies?
Right.
Like just some things in it that okay, this is what happened or this is how it happened.
But this
Do
is
you like
they-
Back
like
to the Future too?
Oh my god.
Okay, so when we're talking about historically accurate movies, yeah, it's important to like recognize that they are still movies.
Yeah, they have
There's
drama that's
gonna be Hollywood portions in them.
Like-
It's just like with my example of The Last Samurai.
there's
yes,
a romance. There's,
Yes, there was a situation between the last of the few samurai of that time period and the new governmental military. And it did end up the way that it did, where the samurai were basically just gunned down in one sitting. However, the Americanized samurai was not a part of that. In fact, there is a story of a slightly more Western sailor who sails to Japan and learns the way of the samurai while he's there because he's marooned there. He's stuck. His ship is destroyed and he can't really get back. And he sees this samurai culture and kind of gets into it. But he's from, I believe it's Ireland if I'm not mistaken.
and non-American.
Yeah, he's not an American, and it's definitely not fucking Tom Cruise.
That 5'9", that 5'6" goblin.
Yeah, he's not even an American soldier. He's not from America. I do believe his name was William. I
Okay.
cannot remember his last name.
Can we all agree that Pearl Harbor was a shitty movie?
But it was that
You mean
time
the-
period was way before this Japanese military revolution,
Right.
westernization.
the Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, the Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
haven't
that
seen
was
that movie was a piece of shit and a lie.
Yeah.
Like it was 2 hours of horseshit.
Didn't it take forever for them even to get to the attacks?
Right, and like it followed characters that did not exist.
Yeah. Oh,
Like Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, you know, the one who like started firing the Gatling gun.
Nope.
Why would an African American be on a ship? Can't swim. Totally kidding.
Alright.
Totally kidding.
Generations of being
I don't
afraid of
remember
boats,
most
I
of
guess.
that movie.
Yeah.
Like, well, and then those pilots didn't exist that Ben Affleck and his brother played. Like,
There was no romance.
there was no romance.
Yeah.
It was just people dying.
Right.
They made a romance out of the
Right.
tragedy here.
Right. No, like, and for me, like, I think another historic adaptation, like, historically, is Apocalypse Now was a book about the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
It's a fucking accurate thing that people went crazy because of what happened in the Vietnam War. And some people lose their heads when they try to get back. Right, Eli?
Oh boy. Yeah, see, now you gotta tell the story.
Eli, what, you gotta tell that story to the public.
Who do I have to tell it?
Because you were the one, it happened to your family.
It's
Well,
your
no, I
story.
mean, he like knew the. It's not like
Okay,
he was
just
great
fucking tell the story.
You have the most connection.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess my grandpa knew a guy who went to Vietnam, made it all the way back, and then stood up when he got out of the helicopter, and it hit his head, and he died.
Yeah.
The story
That's-
doesn't get
all
old.
right.
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
That's one way to go out.
right.
I survived
It
Vietnam,
sucks.
but not that
Yeah,
fucking
I was just saying,
helicopter.
it's just-
Right.
Are you
Like,
guys
it's more
literally
depressing.
talking
yeah.
Helicopter
And
story.
to be honest, I know we're laughing here, but it fucking sucks.
It fucking sucks, but God, like, that's like beating. That's how I picture Dark Souls whenever I play it. It's like, hey, I'm doing really good.
Dead.
Clearly,
Just
you're not
falls
very
off.
good.
I survived all of this. Final boss.
Gotta
Dead.
Go back to the last checkpoint. It was
Right.
like miles away.
Right. No, like,
I don't know what he feels like, so.
I have never had my head get taken out by a helicopter.
I was talking about your experience with Dark Souls.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
that too, I guess.
Fuck you,
I
John.
hope to never experience.
No,
Yeah,
but like, right. But no, like, I don't know, like, I think Valkyrie, like another Tom Cruise movie, I think Valkyrie is extremely historically inaccurate.
Top Gun is the most.
Oh, I
historical.
fucking love Top Gun, and I swear to God, if you talk shit about it, I'll cut you.
No, he really will.
I will cut you. Don't you dare talk shit
You
about
only
Top
bring
We
up
Gun.
only
Top-
have pizza here.
You only bring up Top Gun if you want to hear either a 2-hour conversation about it or you want to fight.
Or you actually want to watch it with us.
Yeah, do you want to watch Top Gun with me sometime, Zach?
Another movie that's kind
Yeah,
of
maybe.
historically mostly inaccurate comes from my favorite actor of all time, Patriot.
Oh my God, that movie.
Fucking Jesus.
I fucking love that movie. But
Okay, here's my
That's some complete sarcasm on that being my favorite actor, by the way.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy. Like, hard.
My
With
thing.
Something hard.
Yo, like my thing straight up about the Patriot, and this is gonna make me sound like such a douchebag, but like there is that scene, you know, where like the fucking British were like telling the slaves of the South if they fight for them they'll get their freedom. And like Mel Gibson's character's like, how dare you do that? We are strong Americans, and they do the exact same thing, and it makes it sound like they're the good guys and the British are the bad guys for fucking giving them their freedom. I'm like, you don't understand how this works,
the
man.
shitty part is that that was an offer that was made by both the British and the Americans.
Right, and they show like, but
and
when
they didn't get it.
yeah. When they showed it though, they showed it like, oh, the Americans are being so awesome and nice.
Yeah.
And the British are being assholes because they're taking away our slaves. I'm like, what? Stop it! It's a shitty thing to do to anybody. Oh, one of my least favorite historically inaccurate movies is 300.
Lol. That was completely accurate. What's wrong with you?
he definitely yelled, "This is Sparta!" and kicked him into something.
Xerxes definitely looked like a super androgynous person.
Well, I mean, I like the movie 300, but I know that it's not historically accurate.
I also like it, but part of its inaccuracies are that it's being told as a story
Yeah, exactly.
before they go and fight.
It's,
And
it's
you're not just gonna be like, oh, our king died like a little bitch. Let's go fight him.
Yeah, the thing with 300 is that it's meant to be told in a similar manner to how Iliad and the Odyssey are kind of told,
Yeah.
but in a much shorter version. It's like it's a story that happened, but is being told from this
It's a tragedy.
this surreal.
It's through like rose
Yeah.
lenses.
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
Yeah.
You're not looking at it from the same perspective of this is what happened. You're looking at it at basically the story of everything that happened in Greek and Roman history.
Bro, I know
It-
bullshit is bullshit though.
I mean, you know, if you like wipe some truth in it, it gets a little bit less bullshit.
Like, I was like, alright, so like,
You know, it's like taking your paper towel of truth and covering the dog turd on the floor.
right. I
It
was
allows you to save it for later without noticing that it's there all the time.
So I've literally looked at a list of historical inaccurate movies, and there are 4 Mel Gibson movies on here.
Well,
I think we were
obviously.
looking at accurate movies, not inaccurate
That's
movies.
because Mel
Yeah.
Gibson is a
That's a whole
racist
different
pile of
podcast.
shit that somehow still gets to be in movies. We should be focusing more on more accurate movies.
But
those are some of the
Inaccurate
better
is
ones.
entirely different
Yeah.
podcast.
right. Well,
mean-
but for me, like, which is one more inaccurate movie,
But
it's because I really
it
like.
is kind of difficult to think of ones that are a little bit more historically accurate because Hollywood does have their hands in
Well,
everything.
because most of them aren't like there are bits and pieces of them that are accurate. Like
yeah, well, exactly. Even like with the Patriot, I mean, there was an American Revolution. It's just this is a story about the American Revolution that's totally wrong.
Okay, so if we're going like what an historically accurate movie that like I don't know if everyone's seen, but I was forced to see it in my history class in college was Schindler's List.
I have seen it.
It's up.
That sounds familiar.
It's a pretty controversial movie.
Right.
I don't know. It's really difficult to explain because it's a pretty serious concept.
It's post World War II, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was during. I haven't
Yeah,
seen it
it's technically during, but it's like,
because if it was post, then he wouldn't have to help them get out.
yeah.
It's during World War II,
Okay.
and
Well, even
Haven't
even
even seen
after
the movie
World
yet.
even after World War II officially ended too, though, and this isn't about the movie, but even after World War II officially ended, it was still a decent amount of time before all of the concentration camps were
Yeah.
found and liberated and
Right.
such, and there was still many of the Jewish people who died
right.
during that time period
Well,
after
they had
World
a
War
lot of
II
death
was
marches
technically
during
Yeah, and this is
officially
this is
over. Yeah,
the
exactly.
movie is essentially about them finding the death. Is it finding or is he assassinating?
I don't know. It's been a really long time since I've seen Schindler's List, so I can't remember all the details. Again, movies and video games for me, it's like I go through so many of them in such a short period of time.
Right. Like another like historically accurate movie is like one of my favorites is Letters to from Iwo Jima.
I have not seen that.
Oh, I fucking love that movie. It's supposed like it came out the same year as Flags of Our Fathers and it blew that movie away. Like
I didn't see either one of those, so.
I like Flags of Our Fathers as well, but it wasn't as accurate. And then like for me though, it's just like it's about World War II. It's told from the perspective of Iwo Jima, who goes to Great Lakes to show the fearlessness of Japanese soldiers and thoughtful, brilliant man to hide the head of the army. And the thing about it is, it's like it's a It's a, like as shitty as it sounds, like the Japanese in World War II did some fucked up shit.
You mean World War One?
World War II.
World War II. Well, in World War
Well,
I
I guess they
different,
were
but-
involved in World War II as well. but-
World War II had the
They-
fucking
yeah.
H-bomb, dude.
Yeah.
That
Japan.
How long
They were
Japan?
more involved in World War II.
dude than they were in World War One.
World War One, I don't think they were technically.
No.
They were just beating
I guess
down
it-
China.
Yeah, I guess.
They were having their own private backyard brawl.
Well, it was more like their own private backyard barbecue.
Yeah, pretty much.
They were just.
They were
just-
roasting the rest
Yeah,
of
they
Asia.
were literally
Well,
just.
that's what happened. World War.
Well, that's why
that was pre-World War II.
I look at
Well,
what
no,
was.
it happened during World War One as well.
Right.
Up until World War II.
Right.
I look
Nanking
at
though was like
that
pre-World
as
War,
more
like
of an
so I
atrocity.
mean Nanking was pre-World War II, like that
Yeah.
set off Japan being like, but that's what I mean. Like it as fucked up as it sounds, and like I think movies should do this though, is that you should sympathize. Like it makes you like sympathize with the Japanese because all the Japanese are doing is following orders.
There's two sides to every story.
Right, and like let's be fair, as fucked up as it sounds. Like if they made a movie that was just about World War II generals that wasn't Valkyrie and had nothing to do with the real World War II, and like just say a fucking Nazi soldier, you can't sympathize. Like what their country's doing is shitty. But when you look at it in the base of like you look at how their perspective of an idea is, that's what I think makes a good historical adaptation, to me. Like that's why I like Letters to Iwo Jima. Like it is like I'm not saying what the Japanese did to everyone wasn't fucked up, but you sympathize for the character you're following. And another one, I don't know. Like that's just how I feel. Like
I'm not exactly full of sympathy. So.
right. Like Enemy at the Gate was another one that was really good. And that was about there was a fierce battle between two snipers in World War II at the Battle of Stalingrad, It was between a Nazi and a Soviet man, and it is intense. Like, the Hollywoodization is them like shooting and like going fucking building to building like that. But like the battle itself is like accurate enough because like they never meet. It's a battle of wits.
Well, I mean, they're snipers.
Right.
They shouldn't be face to face.
Right, that would totally kill the movie if they were face to face.
Well, it wouldn't just kill the movie; it like kill the mood too. Just be like, oh,
Shit, what's up?
hey,
Oh, hey.
You
How's
can
it
kill
going?
Hey
me,
man, are
Kien?
you the sniper too? Yeah.
I'm gonna.
High five. All right.
Ooh, I'm gonna back up. You stand here.
I think like
Wait.
I like another historical accurate movie that I really liked is like I really like Jarhead.
it's been a really long time since I've seen Jarhead, but Jarhead reminds me a lot of Full Metal Jacket,
right, and that's
which is
another one I was gonna bring.
another Vietnam movie.
Yep.
And that one's pretty good. The first portion of it isn't heavily historically accurate because a lot of it,
Well, I mean that's more of
I
a
mean,
story.
yeah, that's more story aspected, but then later on it gets a little bit more into like
Yeah.
Full Metal
Once
Jacket
they
or
get
how
Jarhead?
actually horrific the Vietnam War
The
was
Full Metal Jacket.
for both sides.
Right, and like we were talking about the sympathizing of a character. So actually, I had a couple of friends give me this. One guy brought me the accuracies of Hacksaw Ridge, and they are accurate as shit. Holy crap! The guy who like did shit like that in that movie, you know how he like.
I don't know. I haven't seen Hacksaw.
So Hacksaw Ridge is this
Spider-Man goes to war.
right, but like he doesn't use a gun or anything. Like he did some feats where like he.
Oh.
Yeah, he used no, like, and you read the feats he actually did, like, they're super impressive. They're not as impressive as like the movie shows them as, but they were impressive enough.
Like when he bats a grenade with a shovel.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
You never know. I
I was
mean,
gonna say Spider-Man goes.
Oh,
What the hell is that?
A grenade, once you reach impact, it explodes.
no,
No.
that's not how
No.
a grenade
It's
works.
on a spring.
It's on a
Yeah,
spring.
the way a grenade works is you pull the pin, and when you throw the grenade, it
Uh-huh.
releases a secondary clip that's attached to another pin
Okay.
that comes out of the grenade and then creates a spark that hits the ignition fuse, and the fuse goes down the chamber of this grenade, and then the spherical part of the grenade is filled with your explosive and your fragmentation. And when it reaches that explosive at the bottom, it blows up and it sends that fragmentation all over the place. It's not the explosion that kills you; it's the fragmentation.
Fun
The
fact.
shrapnel.
Yeah, the shrapnel.
Fun fact.
Grenades are named after pomegranates for that.
Or they can be filled with highly flammable chemicals, and that's why you get like pineapple grenades.
Light on.
Yeah, they just burst into flame really fast.
I don't know, like.
So theoretically, you could easily hit a grenade with a shovel as long as you hit it, say, 10 seconds after that pin is
Yeah.
pulled,
Right.
or before 10 seconds passes, because that's generally the amount of time that it takes for that fuse to wear to the center.
You'd have to be like right there so it wouldn't hit you either.
Yeah.
No, right. That's totally understandable. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not in the military. That's my bad.
Well, I'm not in the military either, but
Yeah.
No.
I just know how
I'm learning
grenades
a
work.
lot of shit over here.
Shut up, chair.
Beautiful Mind's pretty good.
That was also historically inaccurate.
What was?
The Beautiful Mind.
Oh, I haven't
That
seen
was
either.
highly exaggerated.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
but-
good movie.
It's a good like, yo. That's what I mean. Like, Pocahontas is a good movie, but what actually fucking happened
Toka.
was not.
Yeah, they
I
took
think
it.
one of my favorite ones is that like, did you guys ever watch the movie Fury with like Shia LaBeouf and shit like that? It's about the tank.
No. I don't
No.
think so.
Yeah, the crew.
Yeah.
I feel like I did watch it. I don't remember it.
Surprisingly enough, there are a couple Disney movies that aren't historically accurate, but have some historical accuracies to them.
Like Mulan.
Well, yeah, Mulan is about the Mongols coming into China and attempting to overthrow the emperor and stuff like that. And then
I mean, there was actually a Mulan that did that.
Yeah.
But like when she.
and then there's the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which takes place during the Salem witch trials, in which they literally attempt to burn witches in the movie, which is something that actually happened.
Right. I mean, there's bits and pieces like.
obviously there are things in those movies that aren't real.
Right, because like
Everybody overcoming all of their impossible odds with the power of love and shit like that.
I was pretty sure that was real.
That was totally
I think
real.
like that's the thing. Like it's really hard to be like, you know, it's a good historical adaptation because the only ones I can think of are like civil rights movies. For real, no. Like I am not even being like, yeah, black power and shit like that. No, for real, like.
Part of that might just be that was a recent event in the grand scheme of things.
Right. And they can't really
So there's more
like
records on it.
right. There's people who are alive that would be like, "Yeah, this is bullshit." Like Selma. Selma was one of my favorite movies because it was like the first march of Martin Luther King, and like it was like obviously there's some like the one thing about like if you ever watch a civil rights movie is that like when they're getting hosed. That looks like a fucking sprinkler compared to like the actual hoses that they actually had.
Fire hoses hurt like hell, I would imagine.
Right. Like
Water
that is
pressure
like
is insane.
water pressure just
Like that would take your skin off.
right. And like
there-
if you
people were
fucking
sliding down the street.
yeah, people were like it wasn't even like a fun slip and slide though. It was like a
that shit's painful.
right. It was the pressure just but like the thing about like I don't know. It's just kind of like when you
They
make
don't have that for you guys.
what
At Sioux Central, when you're a senior, they make you do a day at the fire department, so you actually get to shoot one of the big ass hoses.
fuck that noise, dude. That's boring. That sounds boring as shit.
It's actually pretty fun, but yeah, you have to have like 5 people on there and shit.
Oh, it's fine. Like, apparently Max got to go work at Polaris for his fucking school.
Yeah, that was not as fun as it sounded.
I was gonna
Right,
say,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
Hey, you're gonna graduate, get a job.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
pretty much.
We had like a CNA class, so all I had to do was like see dead people. I was like, ah, yeah, that's cool, whatever. But no, like, I guess there a lot more historical movies are like, I don't know. There's a lot of every movie has historical inaccuracies. Like, you're not going to.
What about the Cinderella Man? How much of that was accurate? 'Cause I feel that's a good movie. But
Bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look at like Rocky. Rocky is about someone, but not the legit person. But they take a lot from it. There's things that take a lot of shit. Like, all right, the show that like I really enjoy watching, but I know is historically inaccurate, is Vikings, because they certain battles during the time period they move up to bring the drama.
That's what I was gonna say. They smashed a lot of different
Right.
stuff together.
Right. Doesn't mean it's not enjoyable though. Like,
yeah, like,
there could like
it's all like Rollo. He was a real guy.
yeah.
He was not brothers with Ragnar Lothbrok. In fact, they don't know if Ragnar was a real person.
Right. Like
More of a legend.
all right, that's cool. Like, no, I get you. Like there are some historically inaccurate movies are always fun. Like, always seem to have more fun though, because like we said, we were talking about Vikings, that TV show. Like, I think, one of my favorite like adaptations of a fucking thing that happened was The Things They Carried, and Tim. And the guy, and it's about Vietnam, and the guy changed names and shit, and like changed certain events, but that shit still happened. Like, there was one of my favorite stories is where he was talking about like, and he didn't say the name, he didn't bring like he changed the names of everything, but like, it's historically accurate because like when soldiers came back from war, he was reading letters from a friend who couldn't keep a job because of his PTSD and all this shit like that, and then he killed himself. Like, that shit really gets me. Like, for some reason, like for me, like war movies really get me. Like, especially World War II movies, not because I'm Filipino or anything like that, but like my grandpa was a World War II pilot in the Philippines, and like when I watched the Pacific, it seems just like the kind of stories my grandpa would tell my dad, would tell my grandma. Like, sorry, my great grandpa was in, World War II, and then like, even sitting with fucking like veterans when I worked at the nursing home, and they talked to me about like the Vietnam War, and they're like, yeah, Apocalypse Now is like not super. It's not like 100% accurate, but there was some crazy shit that happened there.
I'm gonna hold you up right there.
What?
Most accurate movie, most historically accurate, point for point movie ever. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh my
I will
god.
fucking
No.
cut you. I
With the
hate that.
chainsaw.
Yeah, that was another thing. Like, do you guys?
Rest in peace. Never forget Mom's spaghetti.
No, like what was that? What was that one? There was like fucking The Strangers or whatever. Like they were trying to be like based on true events. It was the Manson family. I was like, y'all motherfuckers can't be putting based on true events. Like you know the least historically accurate movies, The Conjurings. None of that.
The Amityville horror.
Yeah. Oh bullshit.
Horror movies in general.
Bro,
are
any
based
horror
on-
movie that says it's based on true events, they heard like the window go like, and they're like, ghosts! I could make millions of dollars from this.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of those movies that are kind of marketed as horror movies that don't really go on like the supernatural aspect of it, that are actually based on some true events.
Right.
I can't remember what it's called, but there's one I'm thinking of right now about a guy who like would wear a mask and then basically torture people to death with nothing but like a carving knife. And I can't remember how many people he killed. I think it was like 16 different people before they finally ended up finding him. And then they made these movies about it years later and marketed them as horror movies. And like some people were like, "Holy shit, this actually happened!"
Ed Gein?
But what?
Ed Gein?
No, I don't think it's anything weird like that. I keep thinking of like something about a wolf.
Silence of the Lambs type stuff, wasn't it? The game.
That could have been. Are you sure you're not thinking about Silence of the Lamb?
No, it's
'cause
definitely
he
not
doesn't
that.
He doesn't torture them with that. He tortures them.
Oh, I
by
mean,
throwing them in
Buffalo
the
Bill
building.
I'll look it up quick and see if maybe I can find it.
One of the only historical accurate movies Mel Gibson has is We Were Soldiers, and I will give him that. That was a good movie.
We were what?
We Were Soldiers.
Oh.
I think one of my least favorite historically inaccurate movies is The Passion of the Christ, because we really didn't know what Jesus looked like. I don't know if he actually looks like Henry Cavill.
I mean, are you trying to tell me that?
We're gonna put that under historical inaccuracies.
Are you trying to tell me that Jesus wasn't a white man? How dare you?
Coming from fucking Gil, dude, we're Catholic.
I'm kidding.
Pretty positive your Mother Mary says essay.
She does not. I will fight you.
Oh, Gil, I see the pizza stain on my box. Looks like the Mother Mary. You gonna pray for it?
You go suck a dick. Not even a good one. Max's.
The super slot. Why are you throwing me in the bus so much
Because
today,
you're
Gil?
married.
Yes.
That's his fucking comeback.
The ring is like the target right now.
I mean, I could go with John.
I'm still looking for what the fucking movie's called.
Yeah, he's not even engaged.
He's in his world.
You're less engaged than him. You're a perfect target. And I mean, Zach's got nothing to show.
Yeah, I'm useless.
See, go on that.
All right.
He has
I'm doing all
these
right over
years.
here.
He has all these years.
I think like one of the ones that I like that isn't historically accurate or whatsoever, but uses historical figures, is fucking Drifters. Have you seen it? Oh my god, it is amazing. It has Billy the Kid, fucking Jesus is the bad guy, Joan of Arc is a bad guy, like
Weird TV
some
show.
weird Rasputin is a bad guy, and So Drifters is basically like if you die a hero, you get a second chance in another world to basically fight Lord of the Rings characters. So you got Toya. No. Max has seen it.
Lord of
Max
the
knows. Yeah.
It's
no.
a good TV show
It's
to
a good-
watch.
it's-
I am not gonna say it's historically accurate. at
No,
all.
it's not historically accurate. But like when
I
you
mean-
put historical figures together, you get like the Japanese warrior Toyohisa and like Nobunaga and a feminine person that I can't remember. All I know is that he's super effeminate, shoots arrows.
Some fucking- I mean, like, if we're talking about it, though, like, Hitler creates a fucking second Nazi army in this world.
But they're good guys.
Hitler's a good
Good
guy!
guy is a quote unquote good guy who ends up
Because-
killing himself again.
Yeah. He's a good guy in this because he doesn't hate on the subspecies of humans. He just hates...
No, he hates the
Oh yeah.
That's why the subspecies
Yeah.
are revolting.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, this TV show's convoluted as shit.
But they paint him as a good guy.
No,
He is a good guy. in this
he's a
TV show.
drifter. He's a like drifters are bad
Oh,
warriors.
yeah, I found it. The movie's called Wolf Creek. And
Oh, I remember that.
It's loosely based on the crimes of two men, Ivan Milat and Bradley John Murdoch. And I don't really remember everything that happens in those stories, but they did some pretty horrific stuff to people, like carved people alive and stuff like that. Kind of horrific. And the movie touched on some of that stuff, but also kind of went a little bit into the over the deep end kind of stuff too, where they were like, I think there was a scene in there where they were like digging out someone's the inner parts of their head and like eating it or something. I might be thinking of a different movie too,
So
but
that sounds like Hannibal Lecter type stuff.
but yeah, it did some of what they actually did, and then it did stuff that they didn't do.
Yeah, Hollywood it is.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what pretty much everything about historical accuracies does.
Seems like every-
But did they make them go through Barney?
What?
That is actually a form of torture now.
Go
I mean,
through
yeah,
Barney?
that
Yes.
would be kind of torture. This.
Barney?
What's wrong
is
with
torture?
Barney?
Barney's torture.
I mean, would you want a big purple dinosaur making you sing songs all the time?
If Barney's just playing on the TV, I'm not gonna find that torture.
All right, if they're for real,
I mean, I'm gonna try and
if
turn it off.
there is a historically accurate anime that for real we'll talk about, it's Grave of Fireflies. It's about post atomic bomb Japan,
Yeah.
and they're like trifing through like it's fucking
Depressing.
depressing.
Did you say anime?
Yeah,
it's an anime.
it was a pre-Ghibli film. Like it had people who are now part of Ghibli that made it before Ghibli was ever a thing, and it fucking is depressing. Like you want to talk about like how this how it made you feel, that like how it's all like Japan's a bunch of assholes for killing people, and then you see that you drop an atomic bomb killing millions of people and watching them scrounge dead bodies, you're like, oh shit.
Oops.
Whoops.
Sorry.
My man. Like you just want to go to the next Japanese guy. Zach, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Well, I mean, Americans don't paint it as it was the best thing ever. I mean, a lot of them are very remorseful for the action, but they knew that they had to do
Oh,
it.
but
Well, a lot of them
You
thought that they had to do it.
I don't know if
It
you
was-
live in a
it was-
place
it was
called
a power-
Iowa.
It was a power show for Russia.
Right. Right. But no, like that's another one of them. And I think like a historically inaccurate movie that I really liked that my ex-girlfriend showed me was Miyazaki's The Wind Rises. It was about the guy who made like the first warplanes for Japan.
Yeah.
Like there was no real romance that his wife was dying or anything like that.
No.
That was all staged. But it's such a beautifully drawn.
Because it's a Miyazaki.
You want to like hate it because it's so inaccurate, but you gotta be like, oh,
But it
God,
looks
it's
so
so
good.
pretty. It's so pretty.
Huh, sounds like a movie we just watched. Fucking Valerian.
Oh God, I watched that anime though.
You did?
Yeah, not as bad, still bad.
Yeah.
What?
The Valerian anime, don't watch
It
it.
got an anime?
It had an anime before it was a real thing.
Yeah.
Why?
It was a movie.
Well, because a book becomes an anime, becomes a movie, becomes a video game next, probably.
Okay.
I think it would work better as a video game.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, okay, what about the Call of Duty World at War games? Are they historically accurate?
They're coming
Yes,
out with World War
Nazi
II.
zombies are accurate.
Some of the events that were covered in
I was
the
gonna say,
earlier Call of Duties.
The battles they were
Yeah,
in for
the
the
earlier
Yeah.
Call of
but other
Duty's a
than
little
that,
bit.
I mean, obviously that's not how it went down because every Call of Duty can be beaten by running out in the middle of the field
Right?
and gunning down 30 dudes in like a minute.
Yeah, that's
And I mean, it's not like you had
Just a
unlimited
one-man
grenades.
army.
Yeah,
Oh,
through
yeah,
like
yeah,
6
yeah.
different
You
games.
don't
Alright.
say unlimited grenade.
Alright, yeah, no. Actually, if we are going historically accurate video games, Battlefield 1.
nah.
I have
Battlefield 1 Lawrence of Arabia arc.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
The lores of-
campaign.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
The Battlefield 1
campaigns,
campaigns are historic,
but,
like
the tanks,
Right.
a lot of the guns, those are mostly experimental.
right, and the
Yeah,
horse
pretty
and the horse one-hit kills, yeah.
The fact that the guns don't jam every other shot.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But the storyline that it followed and like
Yeah.
because the only one I
Especially the automatic weapons of that
Yeah,
time
it's-
period.
God.
Flamethrowers.
That should
were
be a thing.
introduced
Gun
as a
jamming,
feature.
different
Oh, now
maps,
it's just
just
a
like
club.
gun more off, like jam more often. That fucking dust
Well, I
map
mean-
where people snipe, every shot would just jam the gun.
But
Flamethrowers weren't actually a thing until towards the end. You mainly fought in trenches for like 10 yards a month.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to sacrifice some of that for just good gameplay. If guns jammed every other shot,
Do you
I'd
think
be
anything
ruined.
was
beautiful.
No one would
I'd
play
just run
that.
around with a hatchet. I wouldn't even
Yeah.
bother with guns.
I was
They
gonna say,
couldn't
I
kill
use
me.
a gun for about 2 shots and then just beat him to death with it and call it good.
No, like I don't know. It was really hard to find historically accurate movies where it was just this is historically inaccurate because the last historically accurate movie I saw was Detroit, and even people were like, that's historically inaccurate because they left a lot of shit out. I'm like, all right, y'all can't have your cake and eat it, okay? Like, I don't want to.
Bitch, please, you are not gonna give me a cake, and then I am totally not going to eat it. What? That doesn't make any sense.
You're diabetic, John. You can't have it.
Right, I was
You
gonna
shouldn't
say,
even
how
be
much
having
insulin
it.
do you have?
Right.
Don't tell me how
I'll
to live
take
my
as much
life.
insulin as it takes.
I want to eat all the cake.
I have eaten an entire cake before.
Did you go into a coma?
No,
Maybe.
it was like a week later.
That's like my fear.
Nathan, if he ever listens to this, will remember this time period. I'm pretty sure it was around the same time, like the summer that I moved to Hartley.
You ate an entire.
I ate an entire cake, and then I think it was a week or two later where I did end up in the hospital.
In a coma?
Yeah.
Because I remember.
It was like 19 and a half hours.
Like I remember that one time where like we were looking for you. We didn't know you went into a diabetic coma at Brady's house.
Yeah, I was literally just asleep in my room for like 3 days.
And like we finally came out. And you're like, John, have you been there all?
I walked downstairs, and Brady turns around in his chair, and he's like, "Oh, you're alive." And I just looked at him like, I really gotta pee. And I walked back upstairs and peed for like 45 minutes. Because I did not get up once. I was straight out. I don't know what happened. But like, my blood
How
sugar was
the
out of
fact
control.
that your urine was not toxic.
The fact that I didn't wet the bed
The fact
every
that
whole
you
day.
didn't have a This and Sunny D now.
The fact that you didn't have a UTI.
The fact that I didn't die.
Wait, so
Anyways.
you were up there for
You know, there
3
was
days?
Yeah, I missed Christmas.
John walks downstairs going, where the fuck are all the presents?
I think one of the like most controversial ones was Patch Adams, the movie that Robin Williams was in.
Yeah.
The doctor was like, "Yeah, dude, this isn't how that is. Don't fuck with my life." I'm like, "God damn!"
The Social Network was completely accurate.
The Social Network was like, even Mark Zuckerberg's like, they made me look like an asshole.
That was sarcasm.
Right? No, but like the Social
I
Network.
remember watching that movie though, be like, "Fuck Mark Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
fuck that guy.
right?
I'm gonna go delete my Facebook right now."
And you're like, "What? That didn't actually happen? What?"
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them because they were all in college at the time.
Right, but at the same time, like you said, like the guy who created Napster's like, I didn't
Well,
fuck teenagers.
Even knowing that, like, even knowing that that's not true, I'm still kind of like, "Fuck Zuckerberg."
Right.
Yeah.
As we say, like our Facebook page.
No.
No, like what I mean with that though is this like, that's the thing. Like, it's a historically inaccurate movie, but it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I still like watching
I still like it. Like,
on DVD too.
right.
It makes for a decent story.
Right, you have to
Regardless
put
of it
you
not
have to
being
put like
real.
some kind of drama in it.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure I was talking to someone else about this. I think it was actually while we were doing the last podcast for the news and whatnot. I mean, storytelling in essence is lying,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and as many times as it can be told, if you just tell the same story with the same historical accuracies time and time again, people aren't going to want to jump into theaters to see that stuff. They're not going to want to buy the next book to read it. They want action and drama and stuff like that. So it's always being added.
Right, but y'all just not gonna watch a World War II movie and then Hitler turns into a zombie.
That's what the History Channel is for.
Right.
Wow, that's what old History Channel was for. Now it's for like ancient aliens and trying to.
Oh right, I forgot. They did have like
planted by the aliens.
Yeah,
that was my thing. Like, there was a Hitler
shops,
documentary that is like,
trying to find
was
Sasquatch.
Hitler using dark magic for World War II? I was like, wait, what?
I mean, maybe.
Well, he was into the occult.
Nobody ever really asked him.
My favorite historically accurate anime is Full Metal Alchemist: Conquerors of Shambhala.
I was just gonna say that one of my favorite historically accurate movies is Human Centipede. I can't even say that that's one of my favorite movies, period.
He's a fucking character for the Tournament of Blood.
I know, I listened to the list of people.
Yeah.
It's gonna be difficult to decide some of those matchups.
Because, like...
Getting off topic.
Right.
Because some of them are heavily OP.
Right.
And some of them...
But in certain scenarios, they're heavily OP.
Well, that's the thing. Are we...
You're looking at all the stats.
No, I'm looking at every. Well, I mean, I'm looking at things like kill counts and like their skill sets and stuff like that too. But I mean, yeah. Again, it depends because a lot of psychological affected killers aren't going to have much to go on with non-ordinary people.
Right.
I mean, like. The Freddy vs. Jason movie is historically accurate.
Yeah.
Because those kids were having sex and were killed by a man in the machete.
Now we're basically just tangenting. But, I mean, Freddy's main thing is dragging people into the dream realm or whatever, and then killing them there.
If you die in your dreams.
And, yeah,
you
die in real life.
Bitch!
But Freddy is already dead. Or not Freddy. Jason is already dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's not gonna go to sleep and dream, and then Freddy's gonna kill him, and then he's gonna be dead because he's dead. He's not gonna dream. He's dead. He's not gonna die because he's dead. So that movie's pretty stupid. For the fact that Jason's just gonna fucking win.
Right.
Because he's not gonna die. But I mean, that's another thing too. It's gonna be hard to match Jason up with anything because Jason's already dead. He can't die.
Right.
I mean, there are ways to quote unquote beat.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I don't know. Have you played Mortal Kombat where you could fight as a xenomorph and then kill Jason with your fatality?
Well, yeah,
Thank you very much.
Anybody can kill Jason with a fatality in Mortal Kombat, but
No, like
it'll be interesting.
Well, and he said some
these
people that
matchups.
are gonna be like lower ranked in matchups are
Yeah, and
gonna get
they're
home
gonna
field advantage.
they're gonna
and
get
shit.
groups too, like
Right.
the vampires from 28 Days Later and stuff,
Yeah.
or zombies or whatever you want
The
to
hell
call
are we
them.
talking
I
about?
mean, can we just...
we're having a tournament of blood.
It's the Rochambeau's Halloween special event.
Yeah.
It's like a March Madness setup with
Halloween
Killers.
horror characters. Yes.
By the way, can we talk about the greatest horror character ever? Mecha
Yeah.
Hitler?
Mecha Hitler.
Mecha Hitler.
Right.
like Wolfenstein era Mecha Hitler.
Mecha
or-
Hitler.
That's what I think.
Dude,
of.
Wolfenstein
Yeah,
is like
exactly.
okay, yo. So you saw the new game. Have you guys played the new game?
Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah, not the.
The New Order?
He's played the new.
The new game where there's no zombies, there's just mechas and shit.
The New Order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
he's
as
played-
fun.
I like it. a
I don't
lot.
think it's as fun. Like I don't
I
know.
love the New Order.
There's something about me plowing down Nazi werewolf zombies that just I don't know what the new order just doesn't
Quite the
have.
sentence.
Right. it's canon in that game.
Nazi werewolf zombies.
Nazi werewolf zombies
I'm-
are canon
I'm
in
ready, Hitler.
Wolfenstein.
I really love these new Wolfensteins. So,
I don't know. It's
but I mean, obviously these aren't historically accurate. They're meant to be like an alternative timeline where the Nazis won.
which is all like I fucking okay. Here's my thing about the Nazi timelines all the time. They always for some reason have mechas. I'm like, why?
Because
Why
Hitler,
not?
Mecha Hitler, man.
Mecha Hitler, like Remember, does anyone see that shitty movie, The Iron Sky, where the Nazis survived and they had a space base on the fucking moon?
I mean, that was in Wolfenstein also.
Oh my god.
It's because they tried to get more technologically advanced than their enemies, bro.
Bro.
But I mean, you know,
Step up.
we haven't seen the other side of the moon.
Whoa.
So,
Oh, you're right. There could be a secret
damn.
Nazi base.
totally.
Whoa, hold on.
Totally
Guys.
there.
Aliens.
Why don't we just nuke the moon?
You would
I
ruin
can
the.
see no problem with this.
Yeah, the gravitational pull of what happens next has nothing.
It's
Exactly.
not like all of that cheese falling back down to Earth would really make a big difference.
I mean, at that point it'd be melted cheese, so cheese rain.
It'd be
Raining
One
fondue!
Everyone would get a
It's
piece
burnt.
of that cookie.
Yeah, do you remember, like, no, I kind of picture it like the fucking Rick and Morty episode where they blow up the guy. It's like, oh my god, it's raining! Is that cheese? Just, oh my gosh. Adolf Ham Hitler.
Oh my god.
That's the greatest
Adolf
character.
Winkler.
Adolf Hitler. The greatest character ever invented.
I'm so glad he was only around for one fucking episode.
I am so not. I would have loved
Oh
more of him.
God.
Rick, he died. He wanted to tell you something. That he saw you as a father, even though you put these compromising beliefs in him.
Did you get the crystals, Morty? Yeah, here you go.
We'll have
This
another
party's
day
just
now.
getting started! What the fuck?
What?
You not seen Rick and Morty?
He doesn't watch it.
Oh my god. You
I
need
put
to.
it on. Ah, god dang it.
Can I have my phone back,
I put
please?
it
I
on my
wouldn't
list
give it
of
back
things-
to him.
I put it on my list of things to do, but I just don't get around to
It's
it.
very historically accurate if you watch Rick and Morty.
I'm sure a King Jellybean who tried to rape Morty is completely historically accurate.
Kings rape kids all the time. Look at the Catholic Church, man.
Well, yeah, but
They
a
aren't
jelly bean.
kings, they're priests.
They're basically
A fucking
kings.
jelly bean. They're worshiping a freaking jelly bean.
He's the king of their weird city.
I like making an alternate timeline in Civ where Gandhi's super powerful.
God, he's an asshole.
God.
He's always an asshole.
That was the greatest glitch ever to happen in a
stupid.
video game.
Make Gandhi nuke everyone.
So stupid.
Dude, I don't know how to explain it. How do you explain Gandhi's fucking...
Okay, so what happened is there was an aggressiveness level, and like they would get so many points. It was just a number scale, so it'd be like, you know, this person has an 8. This is how aggressive they are. Gandhi was supposed to be more passive, and so what they did is they went back, which would just started over at the high end of the number scale, and so his aggressiveness was like 200 something, and that's
Yeah.
why
Oh
he
my
was
God.
so angry all the
He
time.
was so fucking aggressive.
And
Right.
it was
What
only
game
if
is
you
this?
only if
So-
you picked democracy.
Right.
Yeah.
Once
I
you were
gotta see that
democratic, you
now.
could do that.
Right. It's so funny, though. It's one of the greatest...
Historically accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gandhi
very
will do
historically
that.
accurate.
He'll
That's
nuke the
how
shit out.
Gandhi was. in
So
real
this has
life.
been our historically inaccurate podcast. Like, the first half is very historically accurate.
Yeah,
We
if you
tried.
made it this far,
We tried that.
good luck.
Right.
It's
So...
a little bit of a tangent episode.
Yeah, it's
Some
that-
bullshittery.
So it's gonna be
podcast.
called Historical Tangent.
I mean, we tried.
I'm Kien Ibanez.
I'm Janine.
Oh god.
Oh, are
Next,
you?
Eli.
To the bathroom.
Eli's in the bathroom, so we got
Eli's taking a boo.
guy.
the coughing guy and
The new Zach.
new Zach. I wish you were like Black Ranger Zach.
I mean,
Wish he was
basically-
black.
Bye.